Okay, can you kick out a tenant who is not paying rent? Well, the rules on landlord and tenant law have changed drastically over the last few years. And on the balance, these changes have been heavily in favour of protecting tenants. And if you think that's over now, well, I'm sorry to say the new Renters' Rights Bill will now make renters' protections even stronger and landlords' duties even stricter. Now, what I'm about to teach you today is essential for anyone watching who is a landlord, who aspires to become a landlord one day, or even someone who's just looking to rent. And that is that it's extremely difficult now to remove bad tenants. Even if your tenant hasn't paid rent for 6 months, you might still not be able to kick them out legally. That's even if they've changed the locks, they've ignored your messages and left your property in disrepair. It could still take you months to remove them and cost you thousands of pounds in lost rent. That's the reality of where we are, and many of you will already be aware of this. But even if you're not a landlord, if you're thinking about becoming one, or even if you're a tenant who's fallen behind and wondering what your landlord can and cannot do to you, then you need to understand this legal process. It is not difficult or complex, it's just something that people don't get taught, which is why I have this channel. For everyone who doesn't know me, I'm Cal, I'm a former lawyer, trained in the UK and qualified in the US. Sole purpose for this channel is to simplify and explain your legal system, and today I'm going to walk you through the step-by-step process you must legally take to evict a tenant who has stopped paying rent, what the risks are and what your rights are, and what traps to avoid. Because one wrong move and you could end up back at square one, and this happens all the time. The best bit is, as always, I'll do it in just under 10 minutes. If you're a landlord, you are not going to want to miss this one. Let's get straight into it. Right, then when can you legally evict someone for not paying rent? Well, let me be blunt. You can't just kick someone out for not paying rent. You can't change the locks. You can't storm in and move their stuff out. That is an illegal eviction. And yes, even if they owe you thousands of pounds in rent arrears, that is a criminal offence. So what does the law actually say? So if your tenant is on an AST, a standard assured short hold tenancy, which most private tenants in England and Wales are on, and the main tool that you have to do this is called a Section 8 notice under the Housing Act 1988. And you may have already heard of this route. This is the legal route to eviction if they have breached your tenancy agreement. And rent arrears are the most common breach. Now, you can serve a Section 8 if they're at least 2 months behind on rent. Technically, the ground for eviction is ground 8, which is mandatory, meaning the court must grant you possession if it is proven. But the catch obviously is it's not instant. And let me explain why it is not in part 2. Quick one, guys, before we continue, I will never ever at any point ask you to subscribe to my channel, only that you give me the chance to earn it from you with the content that I produce. So if at the end of this video you feel like you've learned or liked or taken anything of value from it, then as always, please feel free to do that. So why does it take so long? Well, evicting a non-paying tenant is not like kicking someone out of a hotel room. It's a multi-step legal process that takes time, and it involves, number one, serving a Section 8 notice. You must give the tenant at least 2 weeks notice to do this, that you intend to seek repossession due to rent arrears. That notice must specify which grounds you're relying on, usually ground 8 as mentioned, sometimes combined with others. The second step then, if you're having no luck, is to apply to court. So if they don't leave after that notice period, then you must apply to the court for a possession order. This can take several weeks to several months depending on your local court's backlog, essentially. The third step will be a court hearing. There may be a hearing where both sides can explain their position. If the judge finds in your favour, then they'll issue you with your possession order, which usually gives the tenant their 14 to 28 days to leave. If not, if the tenant still doesn't leave, which does happen all the time, you have to apply for a warrant of possession, guys, and wait for bailiffs to actually physically evict them. In total, let's be realistic, in total this can easily take 3 to 6 months or longer if the tenant contests the eviction, raises potential defences such as disrepair issues, vulnerability or benefit delays. They are all extremely common tactics used by tenants. What about the classic Section 21 no-fault evictions, I hear you ask? Now, many of you are probably already aware of the Section 21 no-fault eviction notices. The no-fault route, which requires giving 2 months notice, not 2 weeks, without having to prove any rent arrears or anything, which has worked very effectively for landlords in recent years. However, 2 very important things. Number one, Labour plans to abolish Section 21 evictions under their new Renters' Rights Reform Bill. So this may not be an option for you much longer. This is happening, unfortunately. That law is coming into place next year, 2026, and it will effectively abolish these no-fault evictions Landlords will essentially now need much clearer reasoning, which must be evidenced for evicting their tenants, such as a genuine intention to live and move in there themselves, or a genuine intention to sell it, not just trying to find a higher bidder. Now, Section 21 has not of yet been abolished, so I need to explain the procedure rules for this. You can't use Section 21 if you haven't complied with various legal obligations, including providing the tenant with their gas safety certificate, their EPC, their deposit protection information. Now, this catches out so many landlords. I used to work in property disputes myself, and this was just a classic case where we'd be able to help tenants avoid eviction through disputing formalities missed by the landlords, such as not providing the documentation when they started the tenancy. So even this route has hurdles. And here's a quick but very important point to cover, which I know many people wonder, which is, can I cut off services or access if my tenant stops paying their rent? Well, the answer is simple: absolutely not. You cannot do this. Even if the tenant hasn't paid a penny, you cannot cut off essential services, gas, electricity or water, etc., or remove their belongings or change their locks or harass them in person or enter without permission unless it's an emergency. Doing any of the above could result in criminal charges or a civil claim against you very easily. The law is clear on this. Only the courts can evict. Now that leads us on to our next important section. I imagine many of you are sat there wondering, can I recover lost rent? How do I recover my lost rent? Well, in theory, yes, you can, but it is not always easy. Once the tenant is evicted, you can claim for the rent arrears through the Money Claim Online MCOL services. This is the simplest and most straightforward way to do that. It's a very simple debt recovery tool. Alternatively, you could obtain a county court judgment, a CCJ, against them, which of course involves starting legal proceedings, unfortunately, but you can then enforce that CCJ through bailiffs, charging orders on their property, which are very, very powerful measures within themselves. So yes, there are ways for sure to recover the lost rent, but these will involve court proceedings or a small fee if you're using the MCOL Money Claims Online service. But, and this is the reality, if the tenant has no money, this is important, if the tenant has no money or assets, your chances of recovery are very slim. That is why I would always encourage landlords who are not familiar with who they are renting to, especially if it's students or people with unstable incomes, landlords to take out landlord's rental insurance. It is worth every penny. I've claimed on this myself for up to 5 months of unpaid rent a long time ago, quickly and easily with no fuss. Which leads me to another important point, which is if your tenant is on universal credit benefits, which your due diligence, I hope, would have informed you, then this complicates things even more. Even if the tenant wants to pay, any delays in their universal credit or housing benefits can cause their rental arrears to build up. This happens often as well. If this happens though, you can request the local housing allowance to pay out directly to you instead of to the tenant. But remember, the courts, in all honesty, in my experience, they're very sympathetic to tenants in genuine hardship and will happily delay eviction under discretionary grounds. So if you're evicting someone who's reliant on benefits, be prepared for possible delays and defences there. All right, guys, look, well done. You have learned something genuinely useful as you go through life as a prospective landlord. You've learned the law and the procedure you need to take, which now allows us to answer the final question of what you should be doing right now as a landlord. What are your best moves right now? Number one has to be document everything. Keep rent ledgers, emails and text communications. You may need to prove non-payment to the court, and this can make the court process so much quicker if you are prepared for it. The more evidence you can show them, the quicker the procedure at court. Number two, communicate clearly. Try to negotiate before taking any legal action with your tenants. Some tenants will clear arrears with the right support, or if you threaten legal action before you actually take it. Number three is to use a proper tenancy agreement. This is so crucial. Always make sure your tenancy agreement is compliant. If you try to do it yourself or you make errors, these errors can and do get relied upon to your detriment by the tenant, and your tenancy agreement may end up being void entirely. Number four is to protect your deposit. Always register it properly within 30 days, or you could lose your right to sue under Section 21 no-fault evictions, as I mentioned before. Don't risk it. You want to make sure that if you need to serve a Section 21 at any time, you've done your due diligence. You've always taken the correct procedures. And finally, act early. Do not wait for your arrears to build up for months. The earlier you spot this and the earlier that you act, the more options that you have. Act quickly. Don't let rent arrears build up. So with all that then, it allows us to answer that big final question. Can you kick out a tenant who's not paying rent? The answer is, of course, yes, and always should be yes. But you can only do it through the courts. Only the courts can evict, and it requires robust evidence. And even then, the reality which people do not get taught, is that it takes time, and it takes money, and it takes paperwork. Protect yourself from the start, clear tenancy agreements, proper tenant vetting, and don't let things drag on, let rent arrears build up. And if you're a tenant watching this, understand that your landlord cannot just evict you overnight. Don't panic, do have rights too, but non-payment of rent is always a breach of contract, and it will catch up with you sometime. Now, landlords, as always, it's my intention to help as much as possible. If you want a proper Section 8 notice template written and approved by qualified lawyers, or a tenancy agreement that protects both parties, I've got those in my legal template library on my website. Link is in the description. And for more help on property law, housing rights, rent raisers, bad neighbours, check out my other videos. There's so much there for tenants and landlords to learn. If you've taken anything of value from this video, feel free to drop me a like or consider subscribing if you wish to learn something genuinely useful every week. Always remember, guys, this is educational content. It's not specific legal advice, which I cannot provide through YouTube. That said, I'll see you in the next one.